opened the door, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, you fuck off, leave. You don't want to be here. Go, leave."
What had there been an interview where did the potential or the fellow guest blow up or weren't happy with something? Was there ever a moment that'll stick with you?
Broadly speaking, yes. I'll give you one. The band was the Human League, very
Okay,
big in the
yes.
80s. And it was led by a guy called Phil Oakey. And we had a guy called John Peters doing Drive. Sandra and Phil Oakey come into the building, and I showed Phil Oakey down to the studio where John was. John gets up, "Hi, nice to meet you." And you could tell straight away that he didn't want to be there. And the interview started, and he was giving literally one-word answers, or would just grunt or nod, which is really good radio when somebody just nods or shakes their head. It's like, it's radio, for God's sake, say something. So JP pulled that first part of the interview to a pretty quick stop and went into a song. I walked down to the studio and opened the door, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, you fuck off." And he looked at me and said, "What?" I said, "Leave. You don't want to be here. Go. Leave now." "Oh, no, you don't have to be. Go. Leave. JP, done. Finished. We don't need to deal with this shit. You don't want to be here, so don't be here. Go." And poor old Sandra's followed me down. She was in my office listening to it. And I said, "We're not doing this." And said, "Oh, do you have that?" They left and went downstairs. 5 minutes later, Sandra comes back upstairs again. "Would you consider letting him back in the studio again?" I said, "Why?" "He's not very happy with how he was." I said, "Well, he's got every right to not be happy with how he was." You don't do that. You don't say yes to doing something and then you turn up and do that. That was just really shit radio. I said, if he promises to actually give us something, absolutely. So back upstairs in the studio, did great stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. So happy ending for what was a pretty crap beginning.